Led by team captain, setter number 8, Ayla Tutanes. Outside hitter number 2, Adi Camaral. Middle blocker number 3, Jill Moraga. Outside hitter number 4, Fifi Casera. Middle blocker number 9, Sam Catamora. Opposite hitter number 17, Graciela Libre. And their starting libero is number 11, Irish Besmonte. The coach for Negros is Don Baroga. Now let's meet the starters for the DHTSI San Juan Lady Knights. Led by team captain middle blocker number 8, Maya Manukay. Outside hitter number 2, Casey Baligid. Middle blocker number 5, Tony Nitura. Opposite hitter number 17, Til Ecalia. Outside hitter number 19, Abigail Nuval. Setter number 24, Myla Lim. And their starting libero is number 16, Aubrey Torzar. The coach for San Juan is Bernie Crisologo.
Your starting lineups for Negros, it's Tutanes, Moraga, Catamora, Caparal, Casera, Lopez, and Bismonte. Or should I say, that is, Graciela Lopez for Bismonte. But on San Juan, it's Myla Lim, Manukay, Nitura, Nuval, Balingit, Ecalia, and Torzar for a do-or-die matchup para sa kanilang kupunan. And from how we are looking at things, John Panerio has already told us during the pregame that this is such an important match for both teams. For San Juan, it is their tournament life. At para naman sa Negros, it is a step towards getting to another great finish as Negros cleans things up for their first point.
Exactly. And as we can see right now, immediately onboarded na agad itong middle blockers ng Negros. And right now, the middle, especially for Negros, will do a magnificent play because if they control the middle for sure hands, they're gonna control the game.
Muslim. Free ball awarded to San Juan. And this is a good start para kay Manukay. Lim being activated or Lim activating the middle blocker right away.
You know what excites me most, Hans, dito is that they've already met in round 1, so I want to see what changes for both teams here in round 2.
Lalo na nung kanilang first matchup ay totally dominant ang kupunan ng Negros. It went on the 3 sets, straight sets, but it's San Juan looking to make a completely different story.
Of course, well, they should. I mean, they need to fight for their life here, Hans. But of course, nabanggit mo nga during round 1, almost showing so much dominance itong Negros in attacks, especially in service aces.
But those are one of the things na kailangan nilang iwasan if they want to build a comfortable cushion here in set number 1. You want to set things off at the right pace. And there it goes again. An ace mula kay Fifi Casera, an all-rounder para sa Negros.
I really do love, Hans, the story of Casera. She didn't start during the early matches of Negros, but slowly she earned her spot in the starting 6. And I think right now, so pinapakita niya in the previous matches, she's really so worthy of the first 6.
Unfortunately, another error for San Juan as the Lady Knights kind of building up on those mistakes, and gusto mo sana habang maaga pa, no, ma-shrug off mo na yan to build some kind of momentum here, building on.
If I were in their shoes, Hans, I'm not sure if I can shrug it off, especially yung pinaglaban natin dito is yung spot into the Final Four.
So much pressure for them, but for Ecalia specifically, shakes it off for that lefty finish.
And, you know, as someone who's played volleyball, it's really so hard. I mean, the most important part for me is the mastery of position. And I'm wondering, Hans, Ecalia, she actually played a lot of roles in the entire season. So I'm wondering yung versatility nitong ni Ecalia, knowing that she already had 2 points here right now.
This has been such a solid start para sa San Juan, I have to say, except for their mistakes. Kasi yung Negros,
Yeah.
isa pa lang yung napupuntos nila na galing sa kanila mismo. Most are errors
Yeah.
of San Juan.
Exactly, and I think, you know, when everything seems really pretty equal hands, what would really matter is yung who will commit lesser error. Dito nga, 3 errors na yung natatala dito ng San Juan.
Ekalia, on the other hand, will give some answers. So their offense is there. They just have to tone down on their mistakes here.
And I think and now I already know the beauty of playing in different positions, Hans. Ikalia pumalo sa outside, ngayon naman pumalo sa opposite. She really mastered every position here in this league.
Another free ball for the Lady Knights. Gitna na naman. This time, it's Noval with a contribution.
Well, really hot start dito for San Juan. And Abigail Noval right now, she's in front. But what I really do like about Noval is that especially if she's at the back, hindi siya liability on defense. Also, really an all-around player here.
Talk about a vet coming through. Lopez. Great dig, but a free ball from San Juan. Jella again. Not yet, says the Lady Knights. Starting to have a rally here so far. Abby goes. That does not go over. A point goes to Negros from yet another error.
And you know, and what really bothering me right now is that 4 points na dito yung nabibigay ng San Juan. And that actually helping Negros with their points.
Which, by the way, they lead by 1. But another flow coming from Ekalia.
Wow. Well, right now, Ikalia playing, starting this match really big time, already with 4 points, 4 different kind of attacks, 4 variations.
Here's Adi. Finally getting a point on the board, is the leading scorer of the league.
And ngayon, medyo mabagal pa yung transition play nitong Negros. But, you know, been covering a lot of matches dito sa Negros and they usually start their matches really slow. So, let's see. Kasi may pagka-team diesel doon itong Negros. Let's see if in the second set or midway nitong first set, mag-iinit itong Negros.
Maybe this is what's going to help them.
Yeah.
A free ball. Papunta kay Casera, won't go. Doesn't give it easy. Both liberos doing amazing. Except for that last attack. Living off San Juan's mistakes. After our first technical timeout, it's the Immaculada Mega Wide leading by 2.
Back here at the Lucena Convention Center, this is the 2025 Maharlika Pilipinas Volleyball Association. Now, Negros remains in the hunt for the last Final Four spot, coming off a confidence-boosting win, and with 2 do-or-die matches ahead, sabi ng team na yung momentum ng panalo namin, sana matuloy namin ngayon, lalo na't straight set win. And despite the stakes, the players insist that their focus is on execution. May nafe-feel kaming pressure pero mas nananaig yung willingness na manalo at makapaglaro ng maayos at magawa lang trabaho sa court. Now, this weekend, they lean on discipline and mindset. They have to remember who they are and what they're playing for. And as 3-peat NCRAA champions, they are ready to prove that they belong among the country's best. This may be a veteran squad that they're up against, pero sabi nila na papatunayan namin na kaya rin namin makipagsabayan para sa Negros. Balik sa inyo, Jong and Hans.
They've got a reputation that they want to take care of, not only being champions of the NCRAA, pero yung dito din mismo. Maraming salamat for that report, Fiona. And they're obviously doing their best to show that right now, Jong. Pero hindi pa gumagana yung opensa nila. And yet, they still lead by 3.
Yes, exactly the point, Hans. Di pa gumagana itong opensa ng Negros, but of course with the help of San Juan's error, ito lamang pa sila dito. I just really so feel bad about Torzar. I mean, Torzar really defending their court really well. Yun nga lang nasasayang because of the unforced errors of San Juan.
The veteran Noval heads back to the bench. Santa Maria joins the party and Katamora blocks Nitura.
And there you go, I mind you, we are seeing a different Katamora here in round 2. So if you're a spiker, you really need to think of kung saan mo dadalhin yung bola.
This is just a really well-timed one-on-one. Those are momentum blocks, Jong. And we're talking about momentum. Torzar, a step away from that ace.
And I told you, I mean, Negros always start their game slow, but well, right now I'm feeling that medyo nag-iinit na itong Negros. So itong San Juan, they really need to work on their service reception.
San Juan gives it up. Now it's Ira's turn.
And Ira Tutanes not only serve as their captain, but also very instrumental dun sa run ng Negros.
Just a lot consecutive smart plays for San Juan. They're gonna have to talk things over, and we're gonna listen to them right now.
Usap kayo, usap.
We got a glimpse of that for a bit. He was talking about them consistently talking, and you know, your errors are really gonna bite you in the back later on pag hindi talaga naalagaan.
Exactly, with these 12 points of Negros, half of that 12 points, errors dito ng San Juan. So I think here for San Juan, let's not complicate things. They just need to work on basics, and part of which is that ayusin nila, they need to work out yung errors na binibigay nila dito sa Negros.
That's a point for the Blue Hawks.
Unfortunately, it continues, and that's not the best way to go for a timeout, pero malayo pa naman.
Yeah.
Medyo malayo nga lang din ang Negros sa pagkakataon nito.
Exactly. Well, here for San Juan, I feel so much pressure. They are moving very tight. They need to shake it off and play their game.
Manukay is gonna step back in.
Now serving for the Lady Knights.
And San Juan also gets a bit of a breather after that. Great dig. Now an attack for the quick. Katamora doesn't get a hand on it. Casera. That's out.
And what I like about here for Ira Totanes, kahit minsan hindi naging successful yung puntos ng spiker niya, babalikan at babalikan niya yon to gain confidence. But unfortunately, there for Casera, good approach, but unfortunately, lack of follow-through. And underneath that ball si Casera on that attack.
There it goes. On the other side, if you want some answers, you gotta give it to Sam.
And Katamora right now really becoming so much formidable in the middle, attacking, blocking. Sam Katamora has improved so much.
Doing a little bit of everything. Itong si Sam Katamora. Santa Maria on the other hand, siya ang magic bunot. Para kay Coach Bernie Crisodogo. Still hasn't happened yet. Here she goes again. Fifi. Solid strike, still hitting. Kalisin was there. What a block from Moraga to end things once and for all.
I think 2 blocks already here for Moraga. For San Juan, I mean, yes, they can attack, but the attacks has becoming very predictable. I mean, they need to be intentional. They need to look for empty spots, for placements, because well-defended na yung atake dito at yung mga palo at direction na binibigay dito ng San Juan sa Negros.
Broken place taken care of by the Blue Hawks. And that was hard work. Paying off para kay Lim.
in all fairness, hands for San Juan, they have a very solid floor defense with Torsar, Ekalia. I mean, they're doing wonderful at the back. It's not just, again, they need to be more creative. They need to play smart. They need to know where exactly to put the ball.
San Juan service. Somebody was right there. Not much contact, but just enough to give Moraga the point. And now, in the second technical timeout, the lead has ballooned to 7. Moraga continues to give Negros the lead. Catch all the games live and free exclusively on pusopi.com. Your game, your community. Join now. Also powered by Smart, the official telco partner of the MPVA. Special thanks to our media partners Smart Sports and Puso Pilipinas. You are still watching MPVA Season 2. Elimination rounds, but a do-or-die situation para sa San Juan. They trail by 7. They want to limit it down, and good dig from Noval. That was Casera finding the right side.
And this is the difference of Negros and San Juan. They can attack, yes, they can defend, but the attackers here for Negros, they're doing cut shot. They're doing placement shot. And that is something that San Juan needs to do if they want to have a higher conversion sa attacking.
Tutanes is now back at the service. But for Balingit, on the other hand, she will be able to get her first point in this game.
Exactly, and we're expecting so much here for Balingit, knowing that itong laro na to is really very crucial. So, a lot of very good matchup here, Balingit kontra Casera. So, let's see who will come out victorious here in this match.
Ira very comfortable. Not enough contact again. Goes to Jella. Great take by Torzar. They go on the other side, and that scramble will be enough.
Well, actually, Hans, as we can see on that play, Torzar already there to cover. You know, so if yun yung naging sakit ng mga middle blockers sometimes, you need to be confident, especially mga drop ball na ganyan. You trust the libero to cover those drop balls.
That's another point for Tutanes. No contact mula kay Moraga on that one. Jella finds center court. And another conversion for Negros.
And finally, Jella Lopez already on board here for Negros. Well, imagine, because a lot of scorers, a lot of players are chipping in points dito for Negros. Unang puntos pa lang yun ni Jella Lopez. Well, everybody now in the starting 6 for Negros is really very formidable.
Here goes Adi. And does basically the same thing Jella did that point ago.
And I think because of that attack, because of the lead that we have, timeout dito mula San Juan.
All momentum going their side so far. Let's listen in and try one more time with Coach Burley Kersologo.
Spiker. Connection to spiker tayo, ha? Ano problema natin? Myla, receive. Guys, wala pa yan, ha? Kaya pa yan, bawi lang. Ganahan nyo.
Upon the cut that happened, Coach Bernie mentioned na ganahan nyo. Communication. Talk it out. Because they do have their offense.
Yes.
We can't, pinpoint the offense as the main problem, but the errors have built up on them so far. But Balingit, this is what we were talking about, Jong. The flow of offense is there.
Exactly. And I think on rotation as well. But now let's see who will come out now as an additional help to Balingit.
But before that, this is a power spike presented by Smart Power All 99. You gotta load now. Balingit already has 2. Ekalia with 4. Another attack. Nitura with a great block. They find KC. And what a block. Yet again. Stopped. Cancelled by Negros.
for San Juan here, I think Negros already knew that most of the sets are going to balingit Ekalia, and that's the problem, Hans. Nagiging predictable. Well anticipated ng defense dito ng Negros who will attack on San Juan's end. So they need to look for additional spark plug para malito itong defense ng Negros.
Moraga has 3 block points, specifically in this set alone. They get the ball back. Jella this time. San Juan scrambling for it. And it goes in. Tough break for San Juan.
So sayang yun, nagdalawang isip. You know, in volleyball talaga, you really need to be decisive whether or not kukunin mo yung bola. Well, I think here for San Juan, anticipating that the ball will go outside. Unfortunately, that is inside. Puntos dito for Lopez.
It goes balingit, no blockers. Still goes through. Just give a free ball. Ira to Adi. Ball is no longer kept alive. What a block from the Lady Knights.
And sometimes here for San Juan, if sometimes you cannot outpower your opponent on attacks, well, you need to solidify your net defense. And I think that is what Tony Tutura is doing. And also not only solidifying your defense, but you need to play smart. You need to outsmart the opponent.
Ten-point advantage, but San Juan can build up on their habits at the end of the first. From the back is Malyari, using the net as a friend.
And I think everything is going well here for Negros. And then again, the anticipation here on the side of San Juan.
Very comfortable is Negros in set number 1. But they give a free ball away to Noval, who gets a point for San Juan.
We need to see more from Noval. You know, individually, Noval, Balingit, and Ekalia are great players. I think they just need na magsabay-sabay lang. And this time, another veteran as well, Sabas, they need to come in together. They need to play together if they really want to have a chance defeating Negros.
Gonna have to give it away. They test the defense. And that was JL Bravo. Super sub coming through.
And Bravo talaga, fresh from the bench and immediate and instant impact dito for Negros.
Now they're at set point. Negros will keep it alive. Ira to Alex. Another placement, won't work this time. To Tanes. Goes to Malyari, but the same result happens. Malyari. Still a no-go, quite a long rally we have here. The signature spike mula kay Nituro won't go. Kalisin will no longer keep it alive as Adi Caparal gets the point and gets the set for Negros.
And there we go. I think for Negros, everybody really contributing well. That is a well-orchestrated set here for Tutanes. And as usual, Caparal, even from the pipe, can prove us that she can still deliver here for Negros.
A very confident set number 1 mula sa Negros Immaculada Mega Wide, taking the first set 25-13. We'll be back for set number 2. Once more, it is 25-13. Negros looking sharp and steady para sa kanilang una sa dalawang laro na magkakaroon sila for this week, and for them to get that Final Four spot active. For San Juan, it has been working on offense, but there were a lot of crucial mistakes that proved dire for them to make it back in this set.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Slow start, but yet they managed to win the game. For San Juan, it is actually Ikalia who started strong but had a hard time. Lumipat na si Ikalia at the back. But, you know, errors really helping Negros here. And if there is some bright spot talaga here for San Juan, that is Torzar. They just need to convert those digs in the reception na binibigay ni Torzar. As we can see here, hands almost identical, not big of a difference yung attacks. Yes, blocks was a help here for Negros. But again, you know, the most glaring part here is yung errors na binigay ng San Juan. Imagine 8. And in all fairness, dito for Negros, for minimizing and controlling their errors only by 2.
We're about to find out how big of a change and adjustment San Juan is gonna make in this second set. Sabas at the back. Noval wants access. And she gets the point, the first for San Juan.
You know, Noval is not the tallest of an outside hitter, but the leaping ability enabled her to hit the ball on a very high contact. And we need Noval right now. More than anything else, we need her in this very crucial game.
Dishing it to Lopez, won't go. 1-2. Look at Ira coming alive for that one as Negros ties it up.
Well, I think here, you know how diverse the scoring of Negros right now, Hans. Everybody cracked in the starting 6 already had a score. At least 3 points, at least 2 points. Even Ira Tutan is the setter. So I think it's really so hard, making it so difficult for San Juan to identify sino yung mag-atake.
Speaking of which, an ace secured by Fifi Casera.
And
One of the more, you know, formidable servers here in the league.
Exactly. At dagdag sakit ang ulo ito sa San Juan because attacks, blocking, and even service aces pumupuntos. But even digs, Negros playing so well.
Miss call from Caparal. And that was Nitura getting another point for the team.
Well, lucky break there for San Juan, but we need to see an attack. We need to see a converted attack there. An intentional attack from the ladies, especially those players in front dito for San Juan.
This is a free ball for the Lady Knights. And that is easy, soft, and well-placed para kay Noval.
Well, Noval, sabi ko nga, she has a very good and high valuable IQ. Just when everybody thought they're on the side of Negros, papaloy ni Noval, just last minute decided to go for a drop ball.
What a block. Negros keeping it alive. How about make things a little softer as well? Caparal adjusts for the point.
And speaking of high valuable IQ, also one of them is Andeng Caparal. Nakita niya establish yung blockers, and the best thing to do is to use the hands of the blocker through soft touch. Pumasok nga yung palo dito ni Andeng.
Right at the middle. Nitura Kent. San Juan relies on Abby yet again. Noval for the second time in a row.
Noval with 5 points already, and Noval just simply doing her assignment. Sabi ko nga, if you cannot outpower. Well, I don't know if it is Katamora or Caparal. Let's take a look on the replay. Very good timing. Oh yes, it is Andeng Caparal. Kita mo, Hans, there's waving their hands together, pressing it forward just to make sure hindi papasok yung bola dito ng San Juan.
Katamora tried to go for it the first time.
Waving their hands together, pressing it forward just to make sure hindi papasok yung bola dito ng San Juan.
Katamora tried to go for it the first time.
Say, here for Negros. Let's take a look one more time.
Hindi siya yung baon, but it was very well placed. That's simply the kind of player Ira is. But for Abigail Noval, she is relentless in this game.
Exactly. You know, I like how Abigail Lubal is for me is one of the best outside hitters here for me with 6 big points already. Variation yung 6 na puntos ni Abigail doon. More than the power, well-placed attacks by Abigail Lubal.
You're talking about well-placed. Sam just dishes it and goes for a point.
Exactly. And again, for Negros, you really don't know who will attack. And I think that is their advantage here in this match because everybody could have the ability to score a point for Negros.
Besmonte was there. Casera naman.
Oh,
Oh, what a save mula kay Manukay to keep it alive. So Casera was like, why not try things again?
yes. And the second time is good here for Casera. Not the strongest of hits, but successful attack there coming from Casera.
A solid effort mula sa kanila as Manukay went full-on girly pop mode for that save. Just couldn't bite onto that second attack. And this is 8-6 in favor of Negros.
Back here in Quezon, this is the 2025 Maharlika Pilipinas Volleyball Association. For Teen Ecalia, volleyball isn't just a sport. It's been her companion for 19 years. Now for her, the court became her refuge, especially in moments she couldn't be with her parents. Sabi niya na pag nalulungkot ako, dito ko binubuhos lahat para sumaya. And with her parents now gone, volleyball holds even deeper meaning. It's her strength, her livelihood, and her drive. Dito sa volleyball, kumikita ako. Kailangan ko pang pagtrabahuan to, sabi niya. And now every time she plays, she still feels her parents close. Iniisip ko na andito sila, nakabantay sa akin at proud silang makita ko naglalaro. Sila ang pinangahawakan ko, sabi niya. And in every point, Tin plays for love, especially the one watching from above. Back to you, Jong and Hans.
For such a heartwarming report, Fiona, this just goes to show you that this is more than a game for
Yes.
some. Maybe a game for some people, but that's the power spike presented by Smart Power All 99. And Ecalia scoring a point, but going back to what Fiona was talking about kani-kanina lamang, you know, you can never really know, right? Kung saan humuhugot
Yes.
ng lakas ang ating mga manlalaro. And specifically for one player, that's from her parents who would always be watching her from above.
And I think it's really pretty common, not only in volleyball hands, but also in life, that we all have our own whys. Why we get up in the morning, why we do in purpose. But here for the volleyball players, well, I think it's fueled them. I mean, the experience and their whys fuel them to go on their A game every day.
A game being tested. As of the moment, just wouldn't go para sa Negros. As an one is already tied up in the set number 2. Ecalia coming through with 5 points. Looking to add to that tally even more. Casera. Katamora with the extra touch, but it won't happen just yet. A free ball for Negros. Ira. Fifi had to adjust. Lim. Too close to the antenna. Para kay Javen Sabas, and a point goes to Negros.
Well, at least I think this set compared to set number 1, it is much closer and lesser error here for San Juan. You know, counting errors, it means so much. It makes so much of a difference.
Sabas has more room to operate now. This is a free ball para sa San Juan. How will they take advantage? Not that time. Both teams scrambling on their offense. How about another attack? Blocked but kept in play. Lim goes 1-2, but Jella was there. Sabas as well goes back for the attack, and it still won't happen.
Wow.
Quite a long rally we have here. Who will be the one to finish it? And it's gonna be Sabas building on momentum play.
I think more than the transition play hands here, Lim going back and back and back there to Javin Sabas, it will build her confidence. Imagine, several times Javin Sabas was not successful on her attacks, and I think that will affect her morale. But after that successful and converted attacks, let's see if magtutuloy-tuloy yung momentum dito ni Javin.
Sabas wasn't part of that first 6. Now getting her first point. Moraga with another miss hit, but they get another chance. And that is Casera not wasting it.
Favorite ko talaga itong mga cut shots, ang mga down-the-line cross-court ni Casera. It's really hard to read, especially yung mga cross-court na gano'n. And Casera have already mastered those kind of attacks. Really well placed.
This is 11 serving 10 with Tutanes. Another error. This time comes from Nitura. It was a pretty solid streak of them not committing errors and just using the attack line. Pero dalawang beses na yan. And another service ace. Ira Tutanes make that 4 points for the setter.
And I think, Hans, this is nothing against, of course, the starting 6 here for San Juan. This is the weakest rotation here for San Juan because your top 2 leading scorers, Ecalia and Nuval, is at the back defending the volleyball. And I think it puts so much pressure, especially for Nitura and Sabas to score a point. And back-to-back ace hands here for Ira Tutanes.
Ira Tutanes, a heavy hitter from the service line, does the same thing to Abby Nuval. Let's listen in on San Juan.
Tara, hindi makaka-atake yung hindi makaka-atake ano natin. Tara!
There are timeouts that you talk about the fault, but I believe this was a timeout to stop the momentum. You cannot attack if you can't receive, and that's what Coach Bernie was saying.
And for me here for San Juan, nothing much to complicate things. They just need to work on their service reception, and it will all start there.
Doon,
Wow.
tumigil ang scoring streak ng Negros.
And finally, after that rotation, well, I must commend that powerful hit of Sabas on breaking down that great wall of Negros. But I think after that rotation, it will somehow give much favor for San Juan as Abigail Nuval is in front here for the Lady Knights.
Look at the attack. Still kept alive by Javen. She is everywhere today. Casera na naman. Goes long. 2 straight para sa San Juan.
You know, Casera, I feel that she's trying to do the end line, that down the line cross court. Unfortunately, yun nga, in doing that, you need to have a good rest action. Unfortunately, lack of follow through on that attempt.
You make some, you miss some.
Yeah.
How about that answer? Wouldn't go for that down the line, just go center instead.
Doon, nanigurado na dito si Casera.
Casera now with 6 points. And unfortunately, she won't be able to add to that just yet. And adds the San Juan's point tally.
I think the closest, way closer here compared to our set number 1.
Look at that setup. Just won't go para kay Moraga. And even Ecalia can't get it across. That's a point para sa Negros. Heading into the second technical timeout, they lead by 3, 16-13. Catch all the games live and free exclusively on pusopi.com. Your game, your community. Join now. Also powered by Smart, the official telco partner of the MPVA. Special thanks to our media partners Smart Sports and Puso Pilipinas. You are still watching MPVA Season 2. matchup between Negros and San Juan. It is still Hans Galeria, Jong Panerio, and Fiona Bacani, your broadcast crew for this weekend. And that was Moraga serving, Noval spiking, and San Juan getting another chance. From the back, won't go. Ekalia can't convert. How about Adi? Using the blockers for another point para sa Negros.
Wow. Well, I think right now I have my best play of the game. Look at that cut shot naman. Talaga nandeng Kaparal. Napakanipis.
Just using enough arm to create an angle. And that is another service ace from Negros. This time it came from Moraga.
Yung nakakailang service aces na dito ang Negros. Well, remember, Negros tallied 10 service aces during their first meet-up in first round. So I think it calls for a more solid service reception dito for San Juan.
Goes to the right. That kind of surprised them a bit. And Catamora was ready, but there was a net fault, so the point will go to San Juan.
Uy, sayang naman yun. But, well, still good anticipation and good read there coming from Catamora. This is just a 4-point lead, Hans. I think this could still be anybody's game.
Closer than how set number 1 went. But in order for them to catch up, there needs to be some momentum built. And they can't do that if the error comes from the service line.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Sayang yung momentum na supposedly nabibuild na dito ng San Juan. It's been instantly killed by those errors.
Number 7, Chelo Lopez out. Number 18, Karatamon in.
So these are new faces na papasok para sa Negros. That's Siason and Karatamon. As 19 serves 14. That's another ace in favor of Negros.
Well, Tamon, instant impact there. You know, aside from Ayan Totanes, Tamon, also a very deadly server. At dito nga si Coach Jesse Barogan, naninigurado na that double substitution resulting for a full rotation dito for Negros. 3 attackers in front.
Right at the block. Won't happen as Noval converts on the spike off the blockers.
Right now, just like that, I think 2 points in set number 1. 5 points here in the second set. Total of 7 points for Abigail Noval.
Adi's not gonna give you time to adjust to what you were saying. Go talk about her now, Jong.
Well, thank you for leading the floor, Hans. But yeah, naputol ako dun eh. But yeah, also, as you can see, let's give half the credit, Hans, to Tamon. I mean, because of that combination, halos wala ng blockers dun sa Anding Kaparal. Libreng-libreng makapalo.
San Juan keeping it alive. To Abby again. Andun si Besmonte. Si Libre naman. They can't seem to find the opening. And another block point goes to the Lady Knights.
Hindi libre si Libre sa attempt na yun. Blockers is there to deny her. But right now, just 4 more points hands here for Negros to have a 2-set advantage here over San Juan.
Mary Ekalia being active on the defensive end. Siason won't go. Tamon was there. Baredo has the set. Rochella goes strong. Leans in para kay Balingit. And that's a point para sa San Juan.
I know Balingit can store big time. I mean, she can. But right now, she's the missing link dito for San Juan. You see Noval, also Ikalia during the first set, contributing a lot. But we need to see more. We need to see score here for Balingit.
San Juan inching closer. But Siason doing enough to get that point in between the blockers.
And this is what I like about Negros, because even though you didn't crack the starting six, even you're a bench player, but even yung mga stringers dito ni Coach Jesse Baroga is really very capable of scoring and chipping and giving points to their team.
Sinisilip ko din dito yung mga nasa bench nila. Lahat nagamit na.
Oh, and lahat, I guess, may puntos na.
Gotta love it so far. Gives them more confidence. Libre was there. Siason na naman. Balingit looks for a long shot, but it goes wide. And a point goes to Negros yet again.
Well, this time out here for San Juan. Let's listen in.
Pag nakakuha na tayo ng tawag dito, outball natin, tayo agad tayo kasi may mga tendency bigla ang balik. Wag natin sukuan, ha? Hindi naman porket pangit yung deliver sa atin ng pagdepensa natin, isukuan na natin, hayaan na natin sila makapalo uli sa atin ng maganda. Meron pa ang pagkakataon, ha? Wala pa yan, tara, sipag tayo, tumayo agad kayo. Trabaho tayo, trabaho lang, nanalo kayo dyan, trabaho lang.
Coach Bernie emphasizing on the extra effort. There needs to be something like that to happen. Kasi kailangan matanggap na magiging pangit talaga.
Oo.
Yung receptions whenever Negros is gonna attack. But if they can make Negros work hard for the receives as well, this could inch a little bit closer. Ekalia sets an unlikely duo there. Siason was blocked, and that's enough for San Juan to get another.
And also the veteran Manukay, I think that is her first registered block here in this match. Oh, and that is actually Balingit will be credited on that block.
So there's been a bit para sa kanila sa ngayon, but for Divine Cortez as one of the new additions, she just couldn't convert that time.
And this is what you've been telling us, Hans, since set 1. I mean, nakaka-build ito ng momentum for San Juan, but immediately, yun nga, nakikill yung momentum nila because of those unforced errors.
Siason was there. Tamon to Libre. Goes too long.
Well, right now, if I were Jesse Baroga, I let them go. It's okay, you know, for the bench players to make mistakes. Besides, isang puntos na lang na may nahabol ko. Why not, you know, let my bench players experience, you know, the pressure and enjoy this game.
They're gonna have to take care of business, though. Not give any sort of momentum to San Juan, as they can surprise you just like that.
And so far, I think out of the 4 attack points dito ni Casey Balingit, that is the strongest. And yes, you know, Negros, they really need to finish this game strong if they want to have the momentum in set number 3.
Unfortunately for San Juan, Negros doesn't even need to attack anymore as a point. Another set is awarded to the Immaculada Mega Wide Blue Hawks. They are 1 set away from taking the win in this game. San Juan is gonna figure it out once more, going back to the drawing board because they still have a set to fight for tournament life. 13, 25-20. San Juan has managed to keep it closer than the first set and how it happened. Pero itong Negros has gotten a lot of contributions, specifically from 8 different players in set number 2 to get them the second set victory.
I like that, Hans. But, you know, again, for Negros nga, sabi ko, everybody has the capability of scoring a point. For San Juan, same old reasons. I mean, 8 errors still. It really hunts them. It pulls their momentum down. So that is the thing for me. Let's not complicate things here for San Juan. They need to minimize their errors. As we can see dito, oh, it's 9 errors pa nga. Pinapamigay dito ng San Juan. Attacking-wise, they're almost equal. It's not just the aces of Negros yung kailangan pang i-solidify dito ng San Juan, the service reception. But right now, they really need to work on and minimize their errors.
At muli namin ipapaalala sa ating mga manonood that this right here is a do or die game para sa San Juan in order for them to even have a chance of making it into the Final Four. Pero para sa Negros, ito ang unang hakbang dahil may laban pa sila bukas at kahit parehas na kupunan ay meron pang laban bukas. There's a lot more opportunity para sa Negros and there's less for San Juan given that they're at 6th, so they really need to get their gears going here if they want to still continue to fight for that postseason spot. Noval, Moraga joust. Caparal back row. Noval yet again. What a dig from Caparal. Noval's been all around. It's Abby against Adi. And Noval gets another.
Very good point there. And also, Hans, going back to what you were saying earlier, these games, the remaining games of San Juan and Negros, I mean, they need to play with so much compassion and so much heart because if ever one of them make it into the semifinals, they'll be facing the #1 team. And so far, that is Dasmariñas. So they really need to treat this game as if this is their tune-up game against the very dominant Dasmariñas Monarch.
And they're doing their best quite comfortably in the first 2 sets. Pero para sa San Juan, they want to get some answers right away. It was Noval and Decalia combining, already contributing for the 3rd set. Torzar sets it up for Ecalia again. Taman was there. That was an idea mula kay Moraga that won't be executed into perfection.
And also good eye there coming from our first referee, recognizing that it's already 4 touches. But again, I mean, same story here for Negros. Always start the set really slow, but midway, dun talaga marangkada itong Negros Immaculada.
Another free ball mula sa Blue Hawks. They give it to Siason. Finds the gap between defenders.
But I'm so sorry. Well, I thought yung set na yon ni Lim, when if to Nitura, if that set was a combination play, I think that will be a point there for San Juan. Halos wala ng blockers. Unfortunately, itong si Lim still decided to go for a quick.
Nitura will give it to Ecalia. Sige, isama nyo na lang towards your way down.
Good timing. That is a good timing and good decision. Therefore, Ecalia, nakikita niya, established na yung blocker dito ng Negros. And the best thing that you could actually do is hintayin at i-delayed yung palo niya. Pumalo sa Ecalia, almost pababa na yung mga blockers dito ng Negros.
Also, a great set from Nitura there. Again, another unlikely duel. But here's a likely player to score, Adi Caparal.
Of course, if you really need an instant point, just dial number 2 and Andeng Caparal. Just 1 more point for a double-digit performance here.
There's Noval. doing just enough to get another point.
And welcome to matchup of Andeng Caparal and Abigail Noval, both 9 points, I guess, here for these two very good outside hitters.
We're not even playing billiards, but this could be a race to 10. And there it goes. The first to 10 is Caparal. Obviously, it's a small win, but it's a good photo on that bigger picture.
Exactly. I like that hands, but this time, I think here for San Juan, mas may advantage when it comes to rotation to Negros. Still 3 spikers in front.
Kalia there was blocked. The blockers had a touch on it. Caparal still making it for the second time. And that right there is your game's community cam powered by pusopi.com. Your game, your community. You gotta join now. Maraming salamat po for coming over and supporting dito mismo. Sigurado ako na yung mga sinusuportahan nila, especially the Quezon Tangerines, are gonna be here in that third game. Sabas was blocked. Race to it again. That's combination play. That's what you asked for, John.
Yes. And thank you, Lim Nicalia, for that combination play, well executed.
And that was the power of a spike presented by Smart Power All 99. You gotta load now because that was a loaded smash from the middle. Galing kay Ikalia.
Yes. And here for San Juan, they need to be creative on their setup. I mean, basang-basa na ng Negros yung mga palo dito at yung mga setup nila. So they need to be creative on their execution for them para maisahan nila itong blocking at saka floor defense ng Negros.
But so far, they've been trading point for point as Caparal already with 11. Over reception still is workable. Another ball given to Sabas. A third one to Javen, and Adi was there. Joren Siason is gonna do just enough to get a point para sa Negros.
Well, in all fairness here for Siason, you know, as a bench player right now, not only on the attacks, but that is really a very difficult set. Those sets coming from behind. But still, Siason, ganda ng timing. At nakapuntos pa nga on that setup.
Ties it again, all at 6. Sabas doing placement. Lopez using strength. Javen goes yet again. And finally gets the angle she was looking for.
Yes, of course, Javen Sabas, really very veteran. Nothing so fancy their hands. Just simple volleyball, textbook volleyball, yet really very effective here for the veteran Javen Sabas.
You know, for someone na madalas sa kanya nabababad yung point of attack ng kanyang kupunan, you would get exhausted from jumping too much. So,
Oh, definitely.
Sabas just using some smarts there. And then adjusts with a little bit of power. Caparal sa likod. Sabas was there. Nitura just had to toss. Another free ball para sa San Juan. They go to the Nitura side. Adi from the backbone end. Paano naman kung 1-2 na lang, sabi ni Lim.
And Lim, ginulat yung depensa dito and we need to see more of that coming from Lim.
And for the first time in this game, we will go to a technical timeout with San Juan getting a 2-point advantage.
You are still watching the 2025 Maharlika Pilipinas Volleyball Association, where for Team Senior Sam Catamora, staying with Negros was a choice of heart. Binabalik-balikan ko kasi mahal ko ang volleyball. Kahit may choice na ako umalis, pinili ko pa rin magstay, sabi niya. After an injury kept her from playing last year, kahit sa last game hindi raw siya nakalaro, this season became her chance to finally maximize her final run. And as she prepares to pass the torch, Sam hopes to leave her younger teammates with the same values that their own seniors left behind. Panatiliin lang ang respeto sa mga seniors sa bawat isa sa laro sa kalaban. Disiplina lang lagi sa sarili at higit sa lahat, mahalin mo ang ginagawa mo. And it's why she's still here to share that kind of passion with the people around her. Now for Sam, being an ate means leading with respect, discipline, and love for the game that she doesn't want to let go of. Back to you, Jong and Hans.
Maraming salamat, Fiona, once again. Ate Sam, starting to, provide some more leadership. It's
Yeah.
quite understandable na silang dalawa ni Ira yung isa sa mga, or yung dalawa sa mga leader nitong kupunan na ito. Ira being more of the vocal leader, but Sam along the sidelines constantly reminding everybody, as that was yet again another point mula kay Javen Sabas, who's been an outlier for the Negrense defense in this one.
Exactly, and just right now, Sabas, just when you needed her the most. But I think this is the best time here for Sam and for Ira to showcase their leadership. Nakikita natin sobrang tight na, nagiging tight ng laruan dito ng Negros. So they need to work on composing themselves here in this match right now.
Nobody home to get that after Ekalia just saved it. So it's a point para kay Graciela Libre on that one.
And Graciela Libre, I mean, for the past attempts, Graciela just trying so hard to score a point. But kita mo, on that past attempt, she deceiving the defense, facing cross-court, but suddenly just doing down the line.
Almost a service ace, but I believe they will get it across. Tamon, running attack, goes long.
Sayang yun. Hans, personally, I really do love watching different kind and variation of sets sa ating mga setters, especially if it is well executed by the spikers. Sayang, ganda ng approach ni Moraga doon. Unfortunately, yun nga yung risk action, yung nagkukulang dito, reason for that ball to go outside.
But unfortunately for San Juan, this is where their inconsistency comes from. Yung service line has provided them a lot of problems so far.
But I don't know, I think Hans right now, we're almost halfway through ending this set number 3, but I think that is just the first error dito ng San Juan. Well, improving compared to the first two sets.
Tamon goes with a high arcing serve, and Oval tears the defense down.
And Abigail Duval, Kapitana, let me welcome you on your double-digit performance right now. 10 big points here for Abigail Duval.
Kita niya yung kamay. Nandun yung kamay, nakasarado na. Pero nauga pa rin ng palo ni Noval. There she goes again. Libre was there. Tamon goes to Siason. How about an attack from Ekalia? Won't go. Lim to Abby. Now it's Adi. This is the long rally yet again, but it will be done quickly through the course of Ekalia.
At yung sinasabi ko, I mean, kailangan lang talaga magsabay-sabay nitong mga players na to. Of course, Ekalia, Noval, and in all fairness there, just when you expected that Balingit will be really a key factor here in this match, it is Sabas stepping up big time here for the Lady Knights.
But again, that hurts their chances so much. They can't seem to, completely pull away. Dahil doon nga sa mga service errors, which hurts them every now and then.
And sobrang sayang yun. You could have already built your momentum. But yun nga, Hans, yung mga service errors dito ng San Juan.
But if you have Noval by your side, then might as well an easy point right back.
Well, I miss those days. Abigail Noval, parang aging really, really gracefully. I mean, naglalaro pa siya sa Perpetual Binyan. Ganun pa rin hanggang ngayon. Yung taas ng talon dito ni Abigail Noval, almost walang pinagbago.
Caparal goes off speed and Noval was there. This time, Ekalia finds the hole on the defense and Tamon can't handle it.
And the second player here for San Juan to score double figures. Ekalia, this former UA Lady Warrior, really showing so much versatility playing right now as a utility spiker here for the Lady Knights.
Ekalia already also at double figures. That's their combination with this player right here who gets rejected by Negros.
And just when we thought that it will send San Juan to second technical timeout, well anticipation, good timing there coming from Siason and Moraga.
She also hung in there.
Yo.
There was a lot of movement, but it is also Negros returning the favor as Moraga misses on it. This is the second technical timeout. That San Juan has a 6-point advantage against Negros. Catch all the games live and free exclusively on PusoP.com. Your game, your community. Join now. Also powered by Smart, the official telco partner of the MPVA. Special thanks to our media partners Smart Sports and Puso Pilipinas. Dahil pumupuso pa ang San Juan kontra sa kanilang Kotunggali, who is already 2 sets above them. But an error from Ekalia is going to give a point to the Blue Hawks.
Well, Hans, you know, one of the major reasons here why San Juan is leading by 5 is first, they're able to minimize their error. Second, Sabas, Ekalia, and Noval nagsabay-sabay. That is San Juan's triple threat here contra Negros. And I think if they're going to continue what they're doing right now with a solid floor defense as well of Tarzar, I will not be surprised if they will snatch this third set contra Negros.
But here's a change of scenery here for Coach Jesse Baroga, putting back Jella Lopez and Ira Totanes on the floor for their next rotation. Lim, combination again. Bumalik kay Ekalia. Going to Sabas and finds the corner.
Ang ganda naman noon. Well, sayang yung combination. I think Ekalia was a little bit too late on that combination. But there you go, Javin Sabas. Veteran move, facing cross-court. Alam mo yung hands din suddenly shifting into the down the line. Halos walang tao there to defend that Javin Sabas attack.
Oh, but look at this. Maila Lim, the main setter of the team, is not on the floor right now para sa San Juan. So it's going to be a variety of sets here that will be quite unfamiliar para sa kanila. Ekalia doing the setter work for the Lady Knights. Balingit gets blocked. 1-2 won't work. Adi just tosses.
Wow!
There's a chase from Abby and the ball kept in play still. Combination will go in favor of Negros.
Nako, kung pumuntos yung San Juan doon, hindi ako mapayag that you will not give half the credit to Abigail Nobal. Grabing depensa doon. But meanwhile, Hans, as you can see here, hindi ko alam kung paano ginagawa ni Ekalia to. But right now, just a split of a second, setter na siya ngayon.
You just gotta do it. Labas na lahat ng alas dito. Because it's tournament life you're gonna have to fight for. Sabas off speed, can't go. Lopez with power. Libre just puts a bit of position. Had to adjust and San Juan gets it. Balingit will get the point.
A point is still a point, and Balingit right now has 6 silent points already here for San Juan. And let's see if this rotation will work for Coach Obet.
Substitution for Negros, number 17, Graciela Libre out, number 4, Fifi Casera.
So there's more players joining in. That is the traditional 6 that Coach Jesse Baroga usually goes for, as they also trail by 6 in this third set. They go to Lopez. To Sabas. They're looking to add to it, and Cut shot? No. Drop shot? Maybe, because it get
Yeah.
a point.
Exactly. And right now, here, Coach Jesse Barogan, naninigurado na. The familiar faces, the usual suspects here for Negros are back. So let's see if this starting six can tie things up here.
But the service error where San Juan made some mistakes in
Yeah.
sets 1 and 2. Sa set 3 naman ng Negros ang nangyayari dyan.
Well, again, you know, these errors are momentum killers. So both squads right now, they really need to minimize their errors.
Great serve putting them down. Sabas, andun na naman. Balingit. Will add some extra juice but gets blocked again. Nitura. Ball kept alive by Negros. Ira goes to Jella. Nobody home after that drop.
I mean, just when everybody thought, well, even me, I thought that Jella Lopez is gonna hit that ball really hard. And Jella Lopez making it looks like so easy, adjusting midair and deciding midair to just drop the ball. But Jella Lopez perfectly, and specialty of si Jella Lopez yung mga drop na yan.
Goes wide for Abby Noval. If you're Coach Bernie Cresologo, I think you're gonna love that. That's your leading scorer of the team. But Negros is inching closer.
Oh!
And an ace is secured. Ekalia can't get to it in time.
Well, I don't know what happened there, but Ekalia really supposedly get that ball. She's the setter. She should get the second ball.
But those were certain lapses on adjusting on the fly. Let's listen in to San Juan.
Yung mga spikers na, ay mga spikers na kabila kapag wala sila sa execution, sayang tumatama sa ganito mo na check this na overlap. Ha? Focus na tayo sa next one na ito. Tara, isa lang pa tayo. Ano lang, kapitan nyo na to sa ating
Let's go.
kapit sipag lang.
Coach Bernie was telling them na ipakita nyo na.
Oo.
Usually, it's just very general reminders from Coach Bernie Cresologo in losing efforts.
Yeah.
Pero for the first time in this series, they actually feel like they have a really good chance of winning a set.
And medyo kinilabutan ako doon, Hans. I mean, on that timeout, nothing very technical on that timeout. But Coach Crisologo, talagang sinasabi, pakita nyo na sa atin to.
And Oval wants to take matters into her own hands yet again. So from 3 sets, they want to make it 4 compared to that first round meeting. Ekalia goes back on offense. Manukay was there. Barredo is 2. And Casera just scratches it off the blockers.
Very smart. Really very smart there of Casera. Just using the hands of the blocker. Kita niya, hindi naman nakapayong yung mga blockers dito ng San Juan. Why not? I'll use it to my advantage. And Casera scoring a point there for Negros.
Itura. Andun si Adi, who will get a point right away.
I really don't know kung paano na mapatagos yun ni Andeng Caparal.
Well, there's one way to explain it because it's a power spike presented by Smart Power All 99. You gotta load now. And another explanation is because it's Adi Caparal.
At hindi ko rin alam, Hans, kung paano mo na gawing transition na yon.
Just
Very good.
find the gaps, find the holes, just like how Adi does it.
And this is really very deadly, no? If you're San Juan, the hopes are there to get this set 3. But Andeng Caparal, isang malaking tinik dito for San Juan.
And another timeout is gonna be called by Coach Bernie Cresologo. Let's listen in quick.
Ang ginagawa natin, hindi tayo maka-atake ng maayos eh. Kaya papigilan nyo lang yan, tignan nyo tuloy-tuloy ulit tayo. Kuhanin lang natin yung momentum.
Sa ikot
Sipag. Sipag lang uli. Sipag lang uli.
Again, yung hindi pagtawag ni Coach Bernie ng timeouts kanina has really been helpful for her to, or him to talk to his team a little bit better in the closing moments of set number 3 because they still have a 1-point lead.
Exactly. Well, the most important part there is let's see if Coach Bernie Crisologo was able to freeze the momentum na nakukuha na dito ng Negros.
And that will be another point for La Capitana. Abby Noval scores another.
In Abigail Noval, you know, the biggest advantage of hers, hindi man ganun katangkad as an outside hitter, but the leaping ability of Abigail Noval, tsaka yung wrist action niya, dagdagan mo pa ng maturity and her experience, really very deadly.
Just so good. Every time. Abby does it again.
Salamat sa buhay mo, Kapitana Abigail Noval. Nothing really changed, you know. When she's still playing in Perpetual in Binyan, hanggang ngayon, still really very deadly.
Separating themselves again. This is a free ball. Ekalia finds cross court for another point.
Well, because of this, Negros mapatawag dito ng timeout. But Ikalia, even though missed timing that volleyball, was able to find that spot here on the side of Negros.
I think this is the first time they're calling for a timeout. Let's listen in on Coach Jesse.
Meron tayong defense pattern, di ba? Pipi, di ba kasasabi lang, paalala magbe-baseline tayo? Eh, paano kayo makakakuha ng bola niya kung ganyan? Ay, sumunod.
Obviously, if your coach, Don Baroga, not happy with how the patterns have been para sa kanila, especially upon the receiving end, which is much needed for them to fix on their attacks. And another ace. Momentum for Nitura. Set point for San Juan.
Just one more point. And here, for San Juan, they're taking advantage of, you know, the mental fortitude na meron itong Negros. Their experience and veteran experience are coming into play right now.
Gotta save some more points here. Caparal block touch. Noval puts the finishing touches on the third set.
Well, I'm confident to tell you that I'm not surprised that San Juan gets this set number 3. Alam ko, nababawi at mabawi yan. Abigail Noval, really the force to reckon with here for San Juan.
Oh my goodness. Abby scoring 7 points in the first 2 sets. She has 8 in the third set alone. San Juan still alive in this game. You're probably wondering why we went just a little silent for a few seconds. It's because we have to give a huge amount of commendation to Ekalia and especially to Abigail Noval, who has combined for 14 points in that set number 3.
Well, I don't know with you, Hans, but I'm not surprised that San Juan get this third set. I mean, you know what at stake in this match? The chance in the Final Four. So you can see here on the stats, 19 big points here for the first time in the past 3 sets. And I think one of the key factors also is that the less errors dito ng San Juan. And right now, both the Noval and Caparal, 15 points.
Yeah, I was speechless because Lopez, while we were talking, just went, guys, it's a completely different set now. We gotta lock in.
And Jella Lopez hands during the third set was actually quiet. Well, let's see now if this will be a different story here for Jella.
I think that was because it was more Siason and Tamon joining in on the party. But now Lopez picking up on where she left off in sets 1 and 2.
And Aerto Tanes just telling Lopez, you haven't scored much during the third set. Why not go back-to-back with you? And back-to-back points here for Jella Lopez.
Give it to the hot hand, why don't you? 2-0 in favor of Negros. Noval goes soft and characteristic. And that goes wide. Yung kalawit nitong si Adi won't work. That's an error mula sa Negros.
And yung slow start dito ng Negros didn't work during the third set. I mean, if you are Negros, you really want to start strong here in the fourth set.
Combination again. Andun si Sabas. Noval finds the back of the line.
Wow, you know what Abigail Noval, what these veterans did during the third set is that they took advantage on the struggling composure of the young Negros during the third set, and I think they're still planning to do that here in the fourth.
Caparal looks to answer. Lim was there. Tarzar is gonna get it across. How about a second try? Will be effective for the veteran.
Hans, wala na ako masabi. For me, I just don't know, how to stop Abigail Noval right now.
Just incredibly smart, knowledgeable of the positioning nitong Negros. Caparal. How do you stop Abby?
I don't know.
You put up Adi against him.
Wow.
And that was a power spike presented by Smart Power All 99. You gotta load now. It is Adi Caparal now with 16 points. And Noval, on the other hand, has 18. Those long shots, long risks, worth it for San Juan.
At this point, I'm running out of superlatives to describe how good Abigail Noval playing right now in this very important match here in this season.
18 big points for the veteran. Mitura was there. They give it to Ekalia. Variety of attacks. Another lefty in Lopez. It kind of makes so much sense as to how similar the dynamic duos of these teams are. You have Adi and Abby, and you also have two lefties in Ekalia and Lopez.
And I like how you've noticed that, Hans. And I think that's what makes this match really very interesting.
Lopez wanted to answer, can't get it. Ekalia. Power move won't go. The attacks of Negros are getting a little stiff here. They need more variety. But that will not happen as it goes out of bounds. And another point goes to San Juan.
Siguro at this point, I'll not talk much na siguro because I'm expecting we might go for a fifth set. So I need to reserve my energy right now. But I must say here, this is a totally different San Juan team we're looking at.
Caparal broke through the wall, but not through the digs. But for Abby, how long can she keep this up?
When I said that I'm running out of superlatives to describe the game of Abigail Noval, it is literally and figuratively. Abigail Noval just continues to amaze me right now.
It is 7 serving 3. It has been all San Juan with momentum. Even Caparal gets rejected. That was just a single blocker, but a free ball awarded to the Blue Hawks yet again. Combination breaking through the Ekalia block.
And that's the best thing to do, especially if yung mga simple sets ng setters sa wings. Madaling pag nababasa na yun, the best thing to do is to do a combination to confuse the net defense of your opponent. And Tutanes, playing with Caparal for many years, have already mastered that.
This is a free ball para sa Negros. They're gonna rely on an all-reliable scorer named Adi Caparal, but it will not go.
Oh.
As our first referee says, it goes out.
Well, I think once the first referee overruled the decision, it is final.
And that will be out. And this will be San Juan holding on to a 4-point lead after the first technical timeout.
Welcome back to the 2025 Maharlika Pilipinas Volleyball Association. In a tense huddle after dropping the last set to San Juan, the Negros squad got a wake-up call from Coach Don Baroga. Now, there was frustration as he reminded players that they were wasting opportunities. Pag binibigyan kayo ng chance, nilalaro-laro nyo lang sa loob, sabi niya. Ayaw nyo come-over kahit kanino pa kayo pinagsasabihan. Now, he challenged their commitment, asking, lumalaban ba kayo? Bakit ayaw nyo sumunod? And warned about their growing complacency. Now, Coach pushed the team to trust their system and each other. Sigaw ng sigaw na mga coaches na magtiwala sa pattern, kaya ipakita nyo sa kanila para hindi kayo agawan. The players also told each other na isa na lang, wala na yan, last na yan, as Negros now looks to turn that tough huddle into momentum heading into this next set. Balik sa inyo, Jong and Hans.
Maraming salamat, Fiona Bacani, and we are not wasting any opportunity here as we could potentially be going to a 5-set game depending on how this momentum has been para kay Mary Ecalia, Abby Noval, and the rest of San Juan. Here's another. And Ecalia does it yet again.
And right now, you know, if Abigail Nubal has the leaping ability and the power, I think Ecalia is banking on variations. Kita mo kanina, before that, cross-court kill down the line, and the drop, she did that in the past 3 sequences. But meanwhile, Abigail Nubal, astonishing performance at 19 points here in this very crucial match against Negros.
There was a touch on the block. Ito yung tinatawag, Jong, na second wind.
Oh.
Just when you have started to count out San Juan, they rise from the ashes and come swinging. But for Adi, she will never stop scoring and getting points.
Well, the problem here for Negros, yes, you have Caparal doing all the damage for Negros, but right now she will be serving at the back. So it's up with Ira Tutanes to identify the next spark plug or the next scoring machine dito for Negros.
You got Catamora and Casera.
Yeah.
Maybe those are enough options. They go with Fifi first. Ando si Torzar. Ecalia na naman. To Sabas. Great dig from Besmonte. Casera. What a save from Adi. Free ball to San Juan. Adi doing everything at the back, trying to keep it alive. And Casera won't waste it.
And Casera, nakita niya hindi payong at hindi pasok yung blocking dito ng San Juan. And all she needs to do is to just wipe the ball into the hands of the blocker and score a point.
There are multiple players scoring mula sa Negros, but there's only one Adi Caparal that has scored in double figures. Casera would have loved to change that. Still in play and in action. Sabas was blocked. Kabila naman tayo. Because that is Ecalia.
Yeah.
And she's good at finding holes in the defense.
I told you, Ecalia really very good in doing variations. So it's really hard to defend. It's really hard to anticipate what will be the kind of attack. If you're the defender, it's really hard to anticipate what kind of attack yung gagawin ni Ecalia because she did a lot of variations talaga.
Catamora wanted to go quick, but it will be retrieved. Barreto to Casera, and that's another mistake. And
Yeah.
Jong, I apologize, but I wanted to know more right from the start because we're gonna hear from Negros.
Okay, di ba? Bakit tayo mo tumalon? Hinihintay niyo bumaba yung bola, tsaka niyo paluin. Iisa lang ang bola niyo.